This time on a complete four-wheel drive, we're in Natal, Stony Ridge Bush Camp, where we're going to get to grips with some axle twisters. Our Land Cruiser, we're still building it. We've put on tyres, new rims, we've put on a roof rack, bull bar, winch. We haven't finished yet. And at the end of the show, our Kalahari convoy heads further west. But before we leave, we must make some essential inspections. Off-road driving means axle twisters because, contrary to what is taught in first grade classrooms, the world isn't round, it's lumpy. Wheels will lift off the ground, and when they do, they want to spin. The use of differential locks is one way to combat this, but the way I look at it, if you can do it without the use of lift lock, it will make you a much, much better driver. Twisters are in effect flattened by smooth, even, constant power application. And when the twister becomes too much for the suspension to handle, we progress to technique 2. I call it the push-pull technique. This is a typical situation, a ditch at an angle across the track. Altogether too slow. Faster, but the same problem, with a different wheel. Even faster, the vehicle gets through, but it's very hard on the vehicle. Now the push-pull technique. The difference is not that easy to see. Listen to the engine revs. As the front wheels lift, the accelerator is eased. At this point, the rear axle is pushing. As the front axle drops and gets grip again, the accelerator is applied, and now the front axle pulls the vehicle through. With this extreme twister, the vehicle must virtually stop before it's taken through. In this case, the vehicle's angle to the ditch is critical, but so is the steering. The effect of steering needs a little explanation. I asked John Rich of Stony Ridge to help me explain this. What we're going to do now, John, there's a little driving trick that I want to demonstrate. I think it's quite a difficult one to actually demonstrate. So I thought maybe you'd be able to do it better than I can. And that is the effect of steering on a vehicle's traction. You were talking when we were climbing steep hills and going through axle twisters about balance. And I want to demonstrate now the effect of steering over balance. So how are we going to do this? How are we going to demonstrate this?
We're going to drive over the obstacle, which is at an angle as we start off with.
Yeah.
And then we're going to use the angle or the lie of the land to create more balance or a flow of the vehicle.
Okay.
A continuous flow.
Right. Okay.
So we would then turn down the bank to create it, because the vehicle would flow downhill a lot easier than flowing uphill.
Okay, so we're now at an angle, and we're naturally going to want to, because the road does this, we're going to want to turn the steering wheel this way, which is going to increase the angle.
That's going to increase the angle.
And we're going to lose it. We're going to slip out.
You should lose it on that one. Yeah, because
Okay.
then you're going up a hill rather than going down a hill. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So now, should I demonstrate that?
Yeah,
Should
you can go
we
forward with that.
How steep is this? It's quite a steep
See,
bank.
it's about 30 degrees
Okay.
on this bank here.
So we're going to turn.
See. You'll start to lose it here, turn
Okay,
down,
and
but you've got to turn very sharp. Okay, and there she goes forward. She's going forward straight now.
Oh, brilliant. Oh, brilliant.
That's
That's exactly what I wanted to demonstrate. That was very
Okay.
good. That was very good.
I did it well.
Okay, so I suppose the principle is, if the vehicle's trying to climb, the steering wheels are like this and the vehicle's trying to climb, then get the nose of the vehicle to go downhill for a moment.
That is correct. You see what's happening? We've lost traction.
Yeah.
And for us to regain traction, if we can get the nose to even move slightly downhill, then we're moving. So the momentum starts to move, and then she will get grip again and move forward on that.
Oh, okay, brilliant.
Yeah.
I like that. Excellent.
Let's demonstrate that one more time.
So I'm going to leave the steering wheel turned.
Yeah.
Okay. And she's slipping out.
You've lost grip now.
She's slipping
Okay,
out. So if
quickly
I
crown.
do that,
That's it.
and then
Straighten
get a
it
bit of
out.
grip and then straighten it out.
That's very good.
Ah, that's very nice. Here we are in Natal in a brand new Hilux. This is the 3-litre diesel. And we've already been driving and enjoying the vehicle for about a week, mostly in town. And it's interesting, you know, how pickups are becoming like cars, more and more like cars. And this is, in terms of that, an enormous leap ahead. They've actually taken the suspension out of a Prado. It looks very similar to the Prado. Coil springs instead of torsion bars. And it is a very, very comfortable, refined drive. In fact, I can say that this is the most refined pickup I've ever driven. The motor is very powerful. No effort is needed at all to maintain the speed limit, even up the steepest hills. The interesting thing though, they've kept the leaf springs at the back because this is still a working vehicle. And you notice it. The front of the vehicle seems very sure-footed. The steering is very direct. The back of the vehicle, we have no load in the back, tends to be a little jittery, like all pickups do when they're empty, but there's an interesting mix now of a refined front suspension and a fairly firm back suspension. We're on our way to Stony Ridge. We're going to John Rich's farm there, and we're going to drive it off-road, and we're going to see how well it does in the rough.
Like me, John Rich had never driven the vehicle off-road before and was quickly behind the wheel. I do enjoy the methodical way he tests vehicles.
I would be a choice of using diff lock on there, but first I'm just going to try the vehicle. The vehicle is new to us. We're going to try it. We're going to climb up the slope. I want to try and get a balance out of it, but I think let's try it first. Have a look where the balance lies with the vehicle, and then we can come back and do it. Never be shy to do a hill twice. If you don't make it the first time, it's no problem to go back and start again. Right, so I'm going to use first just on the first initial part of it here, just to get the feel of what the actual vehicle is going to do. So I'm going to put in first gear. My choice would be second gear on here, but I just want to feel the balance rather than achieve the hill on the first run. You can see the descent as we sort of go in. I've got an ascent now. She's quite steep. She's climbing very well at the moment. I've still got balance out of the front axle, and then I've got a cross axle right there. But she's going quite nicely with a bit of diff lock. We should be able to climb on that there. Let's go back, put the vehicle in reverse, reverse down. Again, you never want to bully the vehicle while going up a hill. I'm going to put the diff lock on. I'm still going to place it in first gear to get more of a feel out of the vehicle. As the vehicle starts to climb, increase your revolution slightly on that. And she climbs through that very, very well.
She did that nicely.
Yeah, it actually did it very, very well. A nice balance out of the front axle. It allows you to do quite a lot with the vehicle, and you don't need, speed is not important on climbing a hill. Momentum, yes, but don't confuse momentum with speed. You need the vehicle to flow and have a steady pace on that. I mean, we're in first gear on that one. Second gear would probably be a choice as well to use because she is very slippery. There's a lot of shale on the hill as we went up there.
Coming back down, we discovered a weak spot.
we descended down the slope there under compression. We entered into a hole there, and with the weight of the vehicle, we just touched on the running board. Running boards do lose a lot of clearance as we go through on the vehicle. You can see I can actually place a whole hand here, and that is the top of the running board, and that's the amount of clearance I actually lose. Running boards are quite important, you know, on the aspect that they stop stone chips and they are a replacement item. You don't really want to bend them or anything like that, but if you slide or anything like that, it's better to dent a running board than actually dent the side of the vehicle.
It's an interesting vehicle in that combination of a suspension that is designed equally for good on-road use. The result is that in very rough terrain, it throws you about a bit, which is a criticism I have of the vehicle that I think can be solved with stiffer shock absorbers. But apart from that, it's fantastic. The approach angle is fair. The departure angle is good, better than average. But its climbing ability, marvelous. Really, really very good.
Having driven the Hilux off-road and on, I came to the conclusion that the new Hilux is better on road, quite a bit better than its predecessor, but not quite as good at tackling difficult obstacles. And that's mainly down to the clearance. Last summer, some friends and I, looking for some interesting places to drive, got our pickup horribly stuck in some thick water-soaked sand. The vehicle is equipped with a good winch up front, but there were no obstacles in front of us. So we had to make our own.
And we're going to try a few different things.
Getting our vehicle out of this mess was going to be a long and hot learning experience. We were carrying some heavy chain, we had recovery stakes, some shackles and a pull strap.
45 degrees.
Kind of ideal.
We'll hook the cable straight onto that.
This is a single anchor spike. We're going to see if it works. Carry on. Let's see what happens. Okay, so it's completely useless. Plan B.
Okay, let me tap that.
Whoa, whoa. Okay, that didn't seem to make any difference at all. In fact, stuff's soft. That thing's stuck. Plan C. What is Plan C?
Right, let's go into some more tricks of the trade.
See what's happening? Not going to work. Spike's coming out.
Let it come towards the other plank.
Okay. Keep it in. No. Plank's coming out.
Okay, we've got a big one there. Tree protector.
what do you think went wrong there?
I think our rope on this side wasn't tight enough. We needed to get it tight.
Okay.
By the time we had pulled everything out, this had collapsed. It was only relying on the last two there.
I'm with you.
So if we can get this taut all the way through, I think we've got a winner.
Tremendous. Let's give it a try.
Push this in, Junior.
A bit further over?
Which way?
Yes, okay. You take this side out? Okay. Okay, John, I think the big problem again was that this pole just was pulled straight out of the ground.
Okay.
And as soon as it came out, all the weight came straight onto that one. It was very obvious.
It's actually lifting, right? It's actually pivoting.
This needs a radical rethink.
Right?
Shouldn't that
If
be?
we attach the top point,
The strategy now is to work furthest from the vehicle and work toward it. Tighten each link before processing to the next. Twist each strap so it's not just tight but very tight. And then dig a channel so that the winch cable has no bend in it. Maybe significantly, we removed the wooden pole that had up to now changed the pull angle.
this time I think we got it right. Everything was good and tight. The first two stakes moved, and eventually they moved just a little bit. And when they were all tight together, that spade buried right at the back took all three of them being tight simultaneously was enough to hold in the ground firmly.
We have a trip planned to take our new Land Cruiser to the Richtersveld, the desert mountain range of the Northern Cape. But we need to do some finishing touches before we go. Tinting out the canopy's windows is inexpensive and you can do it yourself. Temperatures soar inside the canopy and tinting the windows makes all the difference.
Now after you've finished, then just leave it to dry before you clean it. The instructions on the box are interesting, and I'm sure they'll help you as well. They did me. Cleaning your glass surface. Number 2, cutting solar window film size according to your window glass surface. 3, spraying out the soap water on the solar window film. And 4, my favorite, cleaning the glass at all. To congratulate you are a successful installer. Nice heavy mud flaps to replace the original ones, to protect the back of the vehicle and the trailer if you're towing on fast dirt roads. The reason for the chain is that now if I'm going off-road, by lifting it up like that, whoops, and using a plastic tie to secure it, it prevents me inadvertently reversing over it.
Normally, I would fit tackler seat covers to protect the seats, but in the case of the Land Cruiser, it's just as much me that needs protection. This is the third vehicle I have equipped with tackler. They're waterproof, virtually tearproof, and supremely comfortable, even over cloth and leather seats. And when they get dirty, you just stick them in the washing machine. Tackler seat covers are made in a variety of colours and styles,
And one of their most popular products worth a mention is the load liner. Almost indestructible, it protects the load bay of station wagons from damage caused by the load. Apart from the refinements we can make to any truck, such as the obvious, like a sound system, is sound deadening. The product is available from any automotive paint or repair supply store. These are sticky back sound deadening pads that mold to whatever you're sticking them to, and they work brilliantly and they are not expensive. To cut down engine noise, stick the pads to the firewall. Use a hairdryer in cold weather. It'll help the pads mold themselves to the floor. In the next program, we take our cruiser to the desert mountains of the Richtersveld. We find our Kalahari convoy about to depart on its last leg to find the famed westland woodlands of the Kalahari. We're leaving the camp today. We're heading off to the woodlands, our final destination. And before we leave, all of the vehicles we're going to need inspections. The most important points of inspection, obviously fluid levels, the batteries. Batteries come loose in off-road driving, and if they come loose you can have a short. Underneath the vehicle you're going to check suspension components, make sure everything looks fine, make sure there's no sticks, anything trapped up top. The security of your exhaust pipe is also very important, they tend to come loose. And just kind of walk around the vehicle and make sure that it's looking as it should do.
Yeah, we can do a bit more there.
The Westland Woodlands is not marked on many maps because it's not really a tourist destination, and that's why I like it. We travelled from Hukunsi northwest along a surveyor's cut line. The woodlands consists of a couple of 100 hectares of parkland. Evenly cropped yellow grass surrounds the neatly placed camel thorn trees. To make minimum impact on our environment, we set up camp close to the track. We are finally at Maslateng. This is the well-known woodlands in the Western Kalahari. I dreamt of coming here for about 15 years. It's also the first night we haven't had rain, and also the first night that we've had to pack our dirty dishes and things into the back of the vehicle. One thing to note about camping in areas like this is lion country, hyena country. You leave food out, or even dirty dishes out, and the animals will be attracted to the camp. But not only that, they will destroy what you have. By attracting animals to your camp in this way, it means that they will trouble and cause trouble with visitors that come after you. So pack stuff away. So food in tents invites intruders, and you will get hyenas breaking into your tent. And even I've seen wrecked Engel freezers and cooler boxes and food boxes that have been left out onto the ground. So you pack everything like that safely into the vehicle at these times.